Hey guys, it's Dreamer here, and today we are going to be playing a game of sorts called Buried. And basically what it is it's more of a story than it is anything else. It's an interactive story, so we'll read some dialogue and I'll get to make choices throughout that will curb how the outcome of the story happens. And I thought that the story sounded interesting and I wanted to check it out, so here we are. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get started then. Another thing, just before I get started, there really isn't anywhere I can put my webcam that isn't going to cover some text at some point, so I'm gonna do my best to make it as least in the way as possible. But I just wanted to throw that in there before I started. So yeah. Okay, let's begin. Boom, boom. I open my eyes, and the first thing I want to do is scream. I'm flat on my back, and everything seems to hurt. The trees overhead look familiar. It's a clear night sky, almost beautiful. Except for the fact that this means I've been out cold for at least 6 hours. But there's something wrong. I don't remember what, but something happened, and my God, my head hurts, and it's raining. Yeah. And this ringing in my ear. Was there an accident? An explosion, I think? I remember Dennis screaming. But after that, I can't remember. As I sit up, I notice that my hard hat has been thrown off. I look around the area, but it's not. Yeah. I look around the area, but it's not here. It feels strange to go anywhere without my hard hat. But I've got to find the other members of the crew. They could be in danger. I feel like finding our crew members would be more important than finding our hat. So I'm gonna go with that one. I decide my hat can wait until I figure out what's going on. I get up and take a look around the logging site. I smell something burning and don't hear any engines running. Wait, something isn't right. Was it the bulldozer? Maybe the damn thing overheated for the last time. Maybe the engine finally blew. What a mess. Well, maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. Only one way to find out, I guess. I walk over to the center of the logging site. I don't like what I see. Oh dear, what does he see? Oh, that doesn't look good. Ugh. Oh my. The logging site looks like a bomb was detonated right in the center. I don't know where to start. The one load we managed to stack on the truck for the day is overturned. The trailer bent and the logs hanging off the back. Where the hell is everyone? My head is killing me, and this ringing in my ears. I can't hear anything. No birds, no footsteps, nothing. It makes me wonder if I hit my head after my hard hat fell off. I ran through a quick mental checklist to make sure my brain is still working. My name is Roger Hastings. I am 41 years old, and the year is 2017. I own a small logging company, and I've been logging in this strip of Kentucky woodland for almost a month now. Okay, so my brain works. That's a relief. But it also makes me fearful because something is certainly not right here. I look around the logging site, my mind trying to figure out what has happened. Just about every piece of equipment has been overturned or tilted. I don't know, let's check out the debris. There's a bit of debris. Yeah. There's bits of debris everywhere. There are fragments of 5-gallon buckets I keep our work rags in, a loose saw chain, and an overturned gas canister. Had there been an explosion? all of the fuel, and had there been an explosion, all of the fuel on the site would have started a fire, but there's no charring, no burning, nothing. I walked through the area where Dennis had been working. From the looks of it, he'd been moving slowly. He'd only taken down 4 trees today. His metal lunchbox was open, and an indicator that he had been taking an early break. But he's not here. No one's here. Where the hell is everyone? I could try to call on my cell phone, but its battery is already running low. Not that it matters. The reception is crap out here. Okay, so my opinion on that would be, if the reception's bad, odds are we're not going to get through to anybody, and if our battery's low, this call would probably kill it. So I think we should probably save what little battery we have until we can get someplace that has cell reception. So let's just call out. Hey, guys, where is everyone? Tony? Dennis? Frank? Joe? But their names fall flat among the wreckage. I get nothing back other than scaring away a few birds overhead. Might as well start walking and trying to find some answers. The highway is almost a mile back through the woods. Down the gravel road we used to reach the site. Maybe the crew ran that way for help. But why would they have left me? Were they scared? Out of sorts? Maybe I can catch up to them, but with my truck turned over on its side, it looks like I'll be walking. My God, I can't even remember what I was doing before waking up on my back. Wait, what's that? Underneath the bulldozer. Oh my God, it's a leg! It has to be either Tony or Dennis. The dozer looks unstable, like it might roll some more. Might not be safe to get close, but at the same time, I can't just leave him there. I feel like we should go check it out. Just because, come on, there's definitely a leg there. There's no use in putting myself at risk. Oh, I hit the wrong one. God damn it. There's no use in putting myself at risk. That thing could tumble again. It's pretty clear that he didn't survive. Damn. He had 2 kids, too. Both sons. In my shock, I stumbled back, suddenly tripping over a stray log behind me. I banged my head hard on one of the logs. As I fall, instantly I can feel a massive lump forming as a small drip of warm blood. Damn. Why wasn't I wearing my helmet? But what hurts more is the realization that Tony is dead. I can't stay here. I have to find Dennis, Frank, and Joe. I have to find out what happened here. Okay, but how do you know it was Dennis, or how do you know it was Tony? You gave no indicator of knowing who it was. We stayed back, so we had no way of figuring it out. Okay. I guess we can just go with your guess, but whatever. And we continue. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I think the story is really cool. Oh, maybe it's just me. I guess we'll see. As I walk through the stacks of logs from the last week or so of work, everything feels frozen. This high-pitched sound in my ear. It's terrible. It keeps happening every few seconds. It sounds like it's coming from far away. I can't help but wonder, is it my ears? Or is it something else? The silence out there is creepy. And there's a smell, like the atmosphere after a bad summer storm. I might as well admit it. I'm a little scared. Everyone is missing, and it's dead quiet out here. There doesn't even seem to be a breeze to rustle the leaves in branches. My right knee hurts like hell. My head was hurting so bad before that I never even noticed the pain in my knee. I must have heard it during the what? Accident? Or... Wait, is that Dennis? I see him sitting on the ground, motionless. About 30 feet away. Let's go ahead and walk up to him, see what happens. I would assume it's Dennis. He's just sitting there, not moving. I walk up slowly next to him. Dennis? Hey, man, can you hear me? I tap on his shoulder. He looks up at me from the ground, clearly coming out of a daze. Yeah, Roger, I can hear you. He says. Dennis is built like a wrestler and has a tough personality to match. But in this moment, he looks disoriented and even a little anxious. Though I'm glad to see him. The fear on his usually confident face is alarming. What the hell happened? What is going on here? He asks. I don't know, we think it's an explosion. And other than that, we really don't know. An explosion, Dennis says. Yeah, I believe that. Why do you say that? I ask. Did you see something? He doesn't respond. Still sitting on the ground, he looks around the woods, as if he is just now understanding the severity of the situation. The equipment was overturned. The dozers too, I say, wiping my forehead. You okay? I ask him. Yeah, just shooken up. Me too. This might be the most intimate conversation Dennis and I have ever had. While he and I have always been on good terms, we've never been particularly close. I've always respected him, though. Sure, he comes to work a few times looking like he'd been in a bar fight the night before. But I've also seen him do an enthusiastic impression of a dinosaur as he played with Tony's kids while they waited for their dad to finish up his shift. It's then that it hits me. Dennis and Tony were good friends. I'm not sure I want to rattle him with the news of Tony's death right now. Not before we know what's going on. But he has the right to know. I feel like that's a tough situation. Because, I mean, on one hand, we honestly have no idea what the hell is going on, and we're already freaked out as is. But to find out somebody's dead, especially somebody you were close with, would, like, freak you out even more. But at the same time, I mean, he does have the right to know. God, I don't know. Let's not tell him. Like I said, too much is going on right now. I don't think we should tell him. You didn't tell Dennis about Tony's death. It's good to find someone else, I say. I don't think I need to bring up Tony quite yet. The two of them were close, almost like brothers. He'd take it hard. Yeah, he says. Hey, he adds nervously, looking around on the ground. Did you see that light? No, I say. What did you see? I don't even know, Roger. He says. It was like this flare of white light. It came right up out of the ground, like an explosion. So there was an explosion, I say. Maybe it was some equipment, or... This was no equipment, Dennis interrupts, agitated. This huge ball of light came right out of the damn ground. Okay. Well, okay. Asking what it looks like doesn't make any sense because he's already clearly said it's a huge ball of light. So I mean, where the hell did it go if it came out of the ground? It just shot up into the sky until it was out of sight. When? I'm not sure, he answers. But I had finished about 10 trees for the day, and I was about to top one. That's when it happened. You were almost done with 10 trees? I ask. Yeah, he says, looking at the ground. You know, I wouldn't want to take a lunch break until I was done. And that's when the light blew up. Why don't you believe me? I don't know. Do we believe him? I mean, he's saying light came out of the ground. But I mean, we really don't know what happened. I don't know whether we believe him or not. Let's go ahead and tell him that we believe him. You believed Dennis's story. You saw what you saw. Yeah, he saw what he saw. I think to myself, he has no reason to lie about this. My God, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, he says. But if I'm being honest, it scared me pretty bad. And if it's all the same to you, I'd like to get the hell out of here. We both stand up and start heading towards the road. It isn't until we start moving that I see Dennis is wounded. His right side is coated in blood, the red seeping through his blue work shirt. There are spatters of it here and there, but also a very large red splotch that makes me worry. I don't know, we should probably ask if he's in pain. I've been better. I don't know how much longer I can stay on my feet, he says. What happened? I ask. I'm not sure, Dennis replies. I must have gotten thrown or hurt somehow from that light. It's then that I notice the strange ringing in my noise is still filling the air. Hey, I say, stopping. Do you hear that high-pitched ringing noise every once in a while? Dennis looks scared when I ask him this question, and he just nods. I thought it was just me, he says. He looks out of sorts and uncertain. I've never seen him like this before. It's obvious that he's looking for some reassurance. Even though I'm his boss, there's something very unnerving about this. Okay, so back to the whole we're already freaked out as is. Probably shouldn't react with it's freaking me out. So let's go with the whole reassuring thing and say that it's probably nothing. Let's be realistic, I tell myself. I might as well try to be empathetic. Out here in the middle of these woods, the ringing could be anything. Maybe a car alarm from through the woods or something. Still, even my passive comment seems to have reassured Dennis. He looks a bit calmer, more relaxed. We both start moving forward and don't say another word. Did you try to call Frank? Dennis asks. I know he had his cell phone on him today. Not yet. Luckily, I still have some battery left. I pull out my cell phone and call Frank, happy I didn't make the call to Dennis earlier. It rings, but he didn't pick up. But then I hear his phone go off behind the stack of logs. Dennis and I each look at each other. As the phone goes to voicemail, I hang up, and we walk behind the logs to find Frank's phone on the ground, abandoned. We look around for Frank, but find nothing, not a single trace. It's then that I notice something really odd. A 10-foot wide hole in the ground, right near where the phone was. But there's no stray piles of removed dirt or rocks. It's clean, smoothly dug, cutting into the earth, wide, but only a few feet deep. It looks unnatural, like the ground was just deleted. No shovels or diggers used. Dennis looks over to it. This looks like the same kind of hole where I saw that light come from the ground. He muses to himself. I say nothing. My mind is spinning, but I don't know what to think. We need to get out of here, Dennis mutters. At that moment, that ringing noise carries through the forest again, sending a shiver down my spine. Dennis is right. There's something strange going on, and we might not be safe here. But that ringing sound could be a clue as to where the rest of the crew went. Yeah, my instinct is to walk away from scary things, so we're gonna leave. You decide to avoid the sound. With that, we turn and start walking to the west, in the direction that I'm pretty certain leads to the road. Okay. So now what? It's sort of embarrassing. I have been a logger for nearly 15 years, but I'm finding it easy to get lost in these woods. The trees are so thick in places that the moonlight doesn't even reach the ground. It's easy to get turned around. My only hope is that I can find the overgrown dirt road that will lead us back to the highway. You sure we're heading the right way? Dennis asks. Pretty sure, I say. I turn to him to see that he's clearly in pain. It's at this moment that we come upon another one of those smooth holes. This one is even stranger because a nearby tree also has a chunk out of it. The arc goes smooth through the ground and then up through the trunk like a cartoon wrecking ball blasted through both of them. What the hell are these things? Dennis whispers to himself. He takes a step down into the hole, his boot catching imperfections in the shape like a foot. His boots creating imperfections in the shape like footprints in the sand dune. Step down into it, walk the perimeter. Dennis can go ahead and investigate inside of it. Let's look at the perimeter. I walk along the edge, each step sending pebbles down into the hole and ruining its perfect shape. I'm amazed at how smooth it is. Even rocks that were under the earth have been sheared to fit the spherical shape. But as I'm noticing this, I notice Dennis's feet start to sag. Dennis, get out! I start, but I don't finish. Before he can react, the ground is giving way and he's falling. I try to step back, but the fissure that opens up disintegrates the ground beneath my feet as well. I cry out in surprise and can barely hear Dennis letting out a curse as we go down into the earth. Well, that was a mistake. Although I have a feeling that would have happened whether we went in or walked around the perimeter. Okay, well, this is taking an interesting turn. The fall isn't a long one, but when I hit something a few seconds later, it hurts like hell. The wind goes rushing out of me when I hit. The sharp pain flies through me. What the hell? I say once my breath is back. Beside me, Dennis is slowly rolling over to get to his feet. I look up to see the hole in the ground where we fell through. It looks to be about 10 feet over our heads. It's completely dark, but there's a small flicker of light further into the tunnel ahead of us, and a solid wall of rock behind us. Looks like the only way out. Looks like the only ways out are further down the cave or up through the way we fell in. Dennis might be able to boost me up there, but with his injury, I'm not sure how stable he is. He might drop me. I don't know, with them both being injured, I feel like just heading down the cave may be the best answer. While we don't know where it's going to lead, they did say that there's light, so perhaps it's a cave entrance. So let's go ahead and head that way, just because I think it's going to be easier than trying to climb out. I decide we'd better not risk hurting ourselves trying to climb out. As we turn to head into the cave, I take a closer look at the light further ahead and realize it's artificial. We both start heading towards it instinctively. As we step into the light, panic gently gnaws at me because what I'm seeing makes absolutely no sense. It's no longer a cave or a hole. It's a long sparsely lit It's no longer a cave or hole. It's a long, sparsely lit corridor. Well, that's weird. What's that doing in the middle of the ground? Oh, there's something very unsettling about this corridor. I don't like it. It's a massive corridor. In fact, it seems to go on forever. The corridor is mostly dark, with emergency lights every 10 feet or so. I turn to my left to see that there's a door which appears to lead upwards to the outside, but it's locked tight. I push as hard as I can, but there's no luck. "Dennis, help me with this," I say. He comes over and we both try to kick the door open, but it doesn't budge. For some reason, someone doesn't want people to get out of here. Looks like we're headed down the hallway. Alright, so with Dennis's leg being injured, I don't think walking quickly is even an option, whether we try it or not. So let's just go quietly, because it'll be easier on him. I feel like a ghost. Like I truly have no business being here. Dennis leans on me for support. We move slowly, our feet not making a sound. If anyone is here, I want to make sure they don't hear us. We tiptoe forward as slowly as we can. As I carry Dennis to the far end of this otherwise featureless place, I see a flight of concrete stairs leading down. I have to set Dennis down on the floor. His weight is killing me. "Dennis, are you okay?" "Stop worrying, man," he says. "I'll be okay. I just need a minute to rest." But looking at him, I'm not so sure. I can still hear the ringing noise every so often, coming from somewhere in here. I look ahead to the concrete stairs, pointing towards them so that Dennis sees them. "Can you make it down those stairs?" I ask. He stands up slowly and is visibly making an effort not to fall back down. "Yeah," he says. Sounds a little irritated. The stairs for yeah. He starts for the stairs without me, and I have no choice but to follow. We approach the stairs, and by just looking at them, I get the sense that we're crossing some sort of line here. There may very well be no going back. Well, I mean, even if we don't go down them, there's no going back, because I don't think we're capable of climbing out of that hole, and the door that we did manage to find is locked. So, yeah. Okay, this is interesting. I want to know what the sound that they're hearing is, or what the hell they're doing here. As I head down the stairs, I notice that they look aged. That damned ringing noise is somewhere below, louder than ever. I feel like I'm walking down into the cellar of a haunted house, the light becoming scarce as the stairs take a slight turn. I can feel the temperature drop. Dennis makes it a few steps down before he's leaning on the wall. He's breathing like he just finished a marathon. We should probably give him a break. We did just kind of fall through the floor. "Let's take a break," I say, putting my hand towards his shoulder to help steady him. Dennis lets out a sigh. "Thanks. I don't feel too great, boss." As we both squat down on the stairs, my mind seems to lock in on the unknown fate of the rest of my crew. Frank is married, and I've met his wife a few times. A nice woman, with a huge laugh. My heart sags a bit when I realize I might never get to hear him belting out classic rock tunes during lunch break. Joe. Well, I don't know too much about him. He's 22 years old and is considering community college. His folks are his folks are deadbeats, so he's been providing for himself since the age of 16 or so. Maybe I can still find them and still get to hear Frank singing in his deep baritone voice after a few too many drinks. After a few moments, Dennis says, "All right, let's keep going." We both stand up, leaning on each other. I have to make Dennis stay behind me as I stick my foot out in search of the next step. I can't help feeling like a child as a very powerful fear seizes me. I'm expecting a monster to reach out in the darkness and slicing into my throat. After what feels like forever, we come to the bottom of the stairs. We're closer to that ringing noise now. A door sits securely in the wall and looks just as out of place down here as I feel. A sliver of light seeps through, illuminating the area. The door has what looks like a panel with lots of labels and lights. Small embossed print above the panel says Level 1 entrance gate, transport sector. And there's a button with no labels. Oh, yeah, there's a button with no labels. I feel like pushing the button would be a bad idea, so let's inspect it further, because hitting a button that doesn't have a label just makes no sense. The panel looks like a diagnostic or alert system of some kind, each label meant to communicate some status. Lockdown engaged, experiment in progress, shutdown engaged. Those all appear to be off, but one of the phrases has a slowly blinking red light next to it, the only powered light in the whole thing. Abnormal entity breach. What the hell? I slowly push the door open when Dennis suddenly steps in front of me, taking the lead. "Let's go," he says. "I want to find out what the hell this place is." As Dennis walks through, that ringing or beeping or whatever it is gets a little louder. The door closes behind us with a click. I can't help but notice the wobble in Dennis's step as he lets out a grunt. "You sure you're healthy enough to keep going?" I ask. "It doesn't matter. I don't want to be in the woods right now." He seems scared, something I've never seen before. Angry? Yes. Upset? Yes. But Dennis is never scared. Okay, well, what do you see? I don't know what it is, I don't know. What did you see? I don't know what it was, boss. It was like someone had left the radio on, crackling. But we don't have any radios at the site. It was... I don't know. It was like something in the forest was moving. I give him a doubtful look, and he casts his eyes to the ground, frustrated. "I know how it sounds," he says, "but I know what it felt. I know what I felt. It was like walking into a funeral parlor, feeling death and gloom everywhere. I've been so preoccupied with my own fear that I nearly forgot about the ringing noise. It had become just background noise. We take a few more steps, and I can now see where we are. It makes no sense. Yet, another thing that simply seems out of place. The shapes and muted colors of metal are easy to identify, but it doesn't belong here." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of chapter 1. Well, this is creepy. I'm liking it, but it's creepy. Oh, God. Okay, so the questions are, what was the light? How is the light causing the chunks to come out of the ground? Because clearly that's what the light's doing, but we don't know how or why. What the hell place are we in? What the hell happened? Those are all of our questions right now. And I really want to know more. And I really hope you guys want to know more too. Because I'm going to go further in this story. If I recall correctly, there are 5 chapters. So I'll probably make this a 5-part thing. But, yeah, let me know if you guys have any theories. I know we really don't have too much information. Maybe we'll get more theories later on. But, yeah. So, yeah. I know, I've just said yeah like 4 times in the past 5 seconds. Anyway, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!